Welcome to another episode of PNE Pod, the official podcast of the one and only Preston North End Football Club. My name's Niall McCorn, joined by former Deepdale striker Neil Mellor. And today, Mells, we're speaking to someone who has got North End running right through his DNA.
Yeah, there can't be too many North End players who've played a lot of times for the football club, but have lived literally a stone throw away from the ground. And this guest did.
He said his dream was to play one game for Preston. He played a lot more than one over the years.
It's great to hear. It was great to hear. Obviously, Preston North End means a lot to him. His family, growing up so close to the ground, he came as a fan, and to live the dream to play for North End, not just once, so many times, and had some great moments. Had a promotion, playoffs as well for North End. So some big games that he played in. This
man's a goalkeeper, and Preston have a great tradition of goalkeepers that have kind of come through the ranks, and he's another one you can add to that list.
Yeah, absolutely. Quite interesting when he told us about some of his roommates as well. One very close to the current Preston team, maybe member of staff rather than a player. But yeah, I mean, as a goalkeeper, you're looking thinking, what big saves, what moments did he have in his career? And he told us about a few of those. Some of the penalty saves, he was honest as well, that it went down as a save. It wasn't a save for one of them as well.
Works for a Premier League club now, bringing through the next generation, much like how he started as a young man, passing on those experiences.
Yeah, and he's very grateful to a former North End legend as well. Had a big impact in him going into coaching after the playing days.
Okay, well, let's hear from the man who spent a decade at Deepdale, David Lucas.
We'd won promotion on the Saturday towards the end of the season. I think there was two more weeks left in the season. The following Saturday we played Hartlepool. If we won that, we were champions. And the first team goalie, John Vaughan, was ill the Friday night, so I had to play. I played. So I made my debut for PNE, my hometown club, on the day we won the championship.
Oh. That's unbelievable when you say it like that, because just 5 minutes ago you said your dream growing up was to play one game, 1 minute.
1 minute, yeah. Of course.
And you did do that. You played one game, and if that was the only game you ever did play for North End, it's not a bad way to do it.
Like I said, even with the English stuff, you look back now at the time, it's like, yeah, that happened. But now you're looking back, you're like, someone must have been smiling down on you there.
Did you get a medal for that?
I don't think I did for that year, no. We won promotion in 2000, I got a medal for that. But that day, like I say, that day is just... And then Euro 96 was the following, that summer, leading into that, we played... I think we played the last game of the season, can't remember, we won anyway, so celebrations, then you're into Euro 96, Oasis at Nebworth, what's not to like? Euro 1996, the summer of love, if you want to call it that.
Have you got tickets to the Oasis reunion?
No, tried out of curiosity and just to try. But
I think everyone else tried as well.
Yeah, but I think my son got them. My son's a massive Oasis fan now. He blurs them out as if no one else has ever heard Oasis. but the... just tried. If I got him, I would have been happy. I just didn't really fancy Heaton Park. If it had been Lancashire Cricket Ground or something like that, I probably would have been a bit more gutted. But I think standing in a field in the middle of Manchester, hard to get to and hard to get away from, just didn't appeal as much as it did 20 odd years ago.
Well, you established yourself as number one. 98-99 was a big season for the club. Preston got to the playoff semi-finals against Gillingham. 37 appearances that season, so you really were established number one at that point.
Yeah, I think even then, a couple of seasons before that, and even through that period, we had big Finnish lad Tepi Moilanen, who was the other goalkeeper at the time. We had a bit of back and forward, switching around. So we were both young. I think I would have been 19, 20, 21. Tep would have been about 3 or 4 years older, but still a young keeper. So we sort of shared quite a lot of the games. That season, Tep started the season, but he got an horrendous injury. I think he broke his chest bone. He played Northampton away. Really brave came out and someone studded him right in the chest, broke his chest bone, and he was out for ages. So obviously, get in. Your next, crack on with. I think Kelmore Hanlon, the goalie coach / assistant manager, on the bench. Kel would have probably been 36 then, so not ancient, but too old to go on. Because he was an assistant and a goalie coach rather than an active player. He still used to dive around a little bit, but he couldn't be expected to play. So, yeah, go and have a go. And like I said, did really well. We had a good team. especially around Christmas time, had some good results. Played Arsenal in the FA Cup. So yeah, we got to the playoff semis against Gillingham, and I chucked one in. But yeah, we got beat. I think we drew 1-1 at Deepdale and got beat 1-0 away. And being honest, I probably could have done better with both goals. But we got promoted the next year after, so all's well that ends well. But it was brilliant. Your first, like I say, 37 games as a youngster was fantastic, and it's when you start to think, yeah, you can have a proper crack at this.
You played Burnley and Blackpool that season as well.
Yeah.
What were those games like for you to play? Because for me, when I was at Preston, they're always different games, really different games when you come up against them too.
Well, I'm sure Blackpool was 0-0. I was in around my birthday.
No clean sheet away at Blackpool,
yeah,
love it.
So that was fine, and they beat us at Deepdale 1-0 to around Easter time. When we were flying. I'm not sure if we were still in contention for automatic, but we were definitely right up there, obviously, in the playoffs. They beat us. I think Brett scored the winner, Brett Ormerod, if I remember rightly. But they did
a double over Burnley that year. Beat them 4-1 at home and 1-0 away.
Curtin Hogan scored away, a great little chipped. It was like a Sunday afternoon on Sky.
Your memory's good.
It's not, but it is. When you give me a bit of a lead, yeah. So Kurt scored definitely that. I half remember Burnley at home. I think Ozzy scored a couple, so I'm trying to remember now. But yeah, unless you'd have given me a prompt out, I wouldn't know. I want to guess.
Did you get stick in them games though? I mean, obviously
I think you do. Of course you do. I think you thrive off it as much as anything, especially the away games. Like, there's nothing better than playing well in front of the home fans in a away game. Just annoying people, really.
But what's it like for a goalkeeper? Because for me, as an outfield player, I can sort of run away from that noise, but you're stuck between the sticks. And if you've got them fans giving you stick, it's constant all game for you.
Well, it's the same as most things. If you know you're going to get it, so if you go in there not expecting it, then you're a fool and it's on you. But it's part and parcel of it. And like I say, you enjoy it because. Well, I wish I could still play and get stick off people now. So it's one of the things you look back and you enjoyed.
You're still a young player at this point, especially in goalkeeping terms. So were you maybe telling the lads in the dressing room how important these games were to you as a North End fan, or was that one of those things that just went without saying? You knew going into a derby that this was a big deal?
Yeah, everyone knew, I think. I was young. We had a young-ish squad of tight-knit lads, guys who had very similar mentalities. Work hard, play hard. Everyone knew what the standards were every day in training, never mind on a match day. So of course, derby days are different, but not really. We wanted to win every game.
You spent 10 years at Preston, as I said, from the mid-90s to 2004. We often ask people who played for North End during that time period how much Deepdale, the stadium, actually changed over those years. You must have seen that firsthand, like almost coming back every season. The stands are looking a little bit different, the ground's regenerating. What was that like to be a part of?
Yeah, I think, during my time, it went from old Deepdale, what it was since I was a kid, to 95, 96, when Baxi came in and took over. That's when the renovation started, Tom Finney stand. And then, obviously, what used to be the Cop when I was a kid, that was the big home end, which is now the Bill Shankly Cop, but is the away end, isn't it? But then, what is now the Alan Kelly stand used to be the town end, was the away end, believe it or not. That big, sort of really good atmosphere terrace was an away end. So it wasn't really used until John Beck flipped it around, which is common sense, and used it as the packed in home end. But yes, and three stands obviously come in. I wasn't there for the Invincibles, but we played a playoff semi-final with only three sides of the ground because of the Alan Kelly was being built then. So yeah, looking back on pictures, do I miss the old ground? Yeah, I think I prefer old grounds. I just think they got more character, more obviously more nostalgia and history. So if you give me a choice, I'd rather play at the old Deepdale than the new Deepdale, but that's just my preference.
Did it feel like the club was growing at the time?
Of course, but a lot of things, obviously, Baxi, back in the team, bringing slightly better and better players in every season. But the manager, it was Moisey. Everyone got behind Moisey. He knew where he was going to get to, where he wanted to get to, and where, nothing was going to stop him getting there. So everyone just jumped on that bandwagon, and he took us with him. But I think, like I say, the recruitment, just the mentality of the team, the expectation.
How was Moisey with you as a goalkeeper?
Oh, hard. It was hard. Not specifically about goalkeeping, just in general. He, especially then, he sort of wanted to not micromanage, but he knew everything. You know what I mean? He took training, took the warmths in training, took the warmths on match day. He knew everything. You know what I mean? He everything was through him. Like I said, he only had him. Kel, who was the goalie coach / assistant manager, you could do a little bit. Jimmy Lumsden, who was his sort of confidant and advisor, but Jimmy wasn't a coach. Jimmy wouldn't coach on the grass, so he did everything himself. And like I say, he just knew the standards. I think he trusted us. He realised, we'd have a pint on a Saturday night at times, but we were performing on a Saturday and a Tuesday whenever we played. So I think he just knew how much rope to give us, and also when to be really hard on us.
Whatever he said to that group of players, and you were part of that, when you lost in the playoff semi to Gillingham 99, to then be champions the next season, can you remember sort of how the mood had changed, or any sort of words that he was saying to make sure that you took that small step just to go from playoff defeated to champions? I
think what it was, it'd be interesting to see what the recruitment was like over that summer. I don't think it would have been massive. It would have just been little tweaks here and there, a couple of guys leaving, a couple of guys coming in. But I think everything, he just would have upped the stakes for everything, standards and what he expected from us. So I said everything was driven from him. And but in training, our training was like, you hear Man United say things, don't you, where training was harder than some of the games they played in. I think ours was similar. Like, the lads used to boot each other. You know what I mean? It was full on training, really full on. And we do double sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is unheard of now, especially games moved on. But I said we worked our balls off.
In terms of the ups and downs of being a goalkeeper, unique position, as we all know, different mindset required almost to play there. Does it kind of show how turbulent it can be being a goalkeeper? Because, as Mel says, defeated in the playoffs where you've admitted where maybe you felt like you could have done better, to then the next season going on and achieving something. Your first game was a high point as well. So does it just show the ups and downs of being a goalkeeper?
Well, the ups and downs massively, because obviously we got beaten in the playoffs, then I started the next season and I got sent off against Wigan. Dodgy back pass brought Stuart Ballard down, but he got back up and missed an open goal, so like triple jeopardy and got sent off. But I didn't get back in the team because Tepe played that well. So through no fault of your own, you're out of the team. Obviously we won the league by 7, 8, 9, 10 points, whatever it was. So we were a really strong team, so you couldn't get back in the team. And I think Moisey felt that, because I got a medal that year. I'm not sure I played enough games because it was quite early on in the season when I got sent off. So he made sure I got a medal because he obviously knew probably was out of the team on just a bit of bad luck. But that was the standard of the squad we had. There was other players who, I think we signed Steve Robinson from Bournemouth, who's obviously managed up in Scotland quite a lot and a few different clubs down here. But Robbo came in with a high, we expected good things from him. He played in a higher level, but Griggs and Ranks just shelled him in training. You're not getting in the team in front of us. So that was the standard.
Neil Mellor scored. Preston take the lead, and that's exactly what it means to Neil Mellor to score in the West Lancashire derby.